Welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to News Cycle on Global Television, coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Jumai Manson. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and Star Times channel 276. Now the news in full. The House of Representatives Committee on Diaspora has launched the Nigerians in Diaspora Response application website, a digital platform designed to bridge communication gap between Nigerian government and its citizens living abroad. The unveiling took place during the first Nigerian stakeholders engagement on diaspora governance held in Abuja. Declaring the event open, the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Tajuddin Abbas, said Nigerians in diaspora continue to excel globally, contributing significantly to the nation's economy, diplomacy, and image. Residents of Gwarinpa district in Abuja are raising serious concerns over the growing heaps of refuse that's taken over major portions of their community, calling on the Federal Capital Territory Administration, FCTA, and relevant waste management authorities to urgently intervene before the situation worsens. Obong Usoro has the details.
The once serene environment of Gwarinpa is now littered with piles of waste, emitting foul odors and posing a serious health risk to residents. Areas around 3rd Avenue, Tipa Garage, and several inner streets have become dumping grounds, with drains and access road blocked by uncollected refuse. The chief of Gwarinpa village, speaking to Global Television, said that after writing severally to the authorities about the issue, the waste continue to pile up. He said his people are suffering from the stench and mosquitoes and called for urgent government action to evacuate those dumps before it leads to an epidemic.
Right. Then they're telling us that all they need is our support, that they could no longer meet up, and it has been affecting us negatively. And we are clamoring for the government, if there's anything they can do, to be of aid, because it's not been good. We have not been enjoying the situation at all.
Residents say the uncollected waste has become a daily nightmare, making movement difficult and endangering children who play nearby.
This is not good to be here like this. I've been here for a long time. I've been seeing this thing, but it's not good.
This bola is too much for this thing now. In the square my belly, in go score the person everything, in they do this, in they give the person chuta for body.
That the government, they're supposed to do something about it. At least three times in a week, they're supposed to come and pack it, so that this place is no good, they mess up for yet.
Authorities are yet to make an official statement, but residents remain hopeful that their plea will spur immediate action to restore cleanliness and ensure environmental safety in Gwarinpa.
So today we visited Gwarinpa, where we have a waste dump just behind me, and this is not the future. This is not the picture of the Nigeria we want. We are calling on those who are responsible, the government, those at the FCT, and every other person in AMAC to make sure that this waste is cleared and the people of this community will be able to live in a clean, serene environment, and that's what we call for. My name is Obong Usoro from Global Television.
The Health Services and Environment Secretariat of the Federal Capital Territory Administration has intensified advocacy and field activities across the city to ensure that every child is protected against preventable diseases. This was disclosed in a statement signed by Bola Ajao, Special Advisor on Media to the Mandate Secretary of the Health Services and Environmental Secretariat of the Administration, Dr. Adedo Lakpo Fasue. Fasue emphasized the importance of compliance with the ongoing child immunization campaign, Measles Rubella, under the Child Rights Act 2003. Over now to the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, says it will conduct the forthcoming Anambra State governorship election in 5,718 out of 5,720 polling units across the state. The information was released by Dr. Kenneth Ikeogu, the National Commissioner supervised the Anambra State and chairman of INEC's Tenders Board Committee during a readiness assessment visit by delegation from INEC headquarters, Abuja. Ikeagu said the commission has achieved 99% operational preparedness for the November 8, 2025 governorship election in Anambra State. The Federal Capital Territory Minister, Nyesom Wike, has arrived in Dubai for the 2025 Asia Pacific Cities Summit and Mayors Forum this week. This is contained in a statement issued by the Minister's Senior Special Assistant on Public Communications and Social Media, Lere Olayinka. Wike was received by the Consul General of Nigeria in Dubai, Zayanu Ibrahim, as well as officials of the Federal Capital Territory Administration who had arrived earlier. Courts in Kaduna State were shut on Monday as the Judiciary Staff Union of Nigeria began an indefinite strike to press home several demands, including the implementation of financial autonomy for the judiciary. The federal and state high courts and upper Sharia court and the customary and magistrate courts were under lock and key with banners on the gate reading Jasun Kaduna State Chapter embarks on strike. The union said the industrial action was due to the state government's failure to respond to multiple correspondences, including a demand later dated September 1st and an ultimatum letter dated October 9, 2025. The Nigerian Defense Academy in Kaduna State has advised residents of Afaka, Kuya, and Mando to steer clear of its open range from Tuesday, 28 October to Friday, 7th November 2025. This is contained in a statement issued by the Academy Public Relations Officer, Major Mohammed Madawa in Kaduna. Madawa stated that the inhabitants of Mando, Tismiya, Kuye, and Afaka general area are cautioned as the Academy will be conducting a range management package shooting exercise for cadets of the 73 Regular Course Army. Governor Biodun Oyebanji on Monday emerged as a governorship candidate of the All Progressive Congress in Ekiti State ahead of the June 20, 2026 poll. The governor, who is the sole candidate, was unanimously affirmed by a total of 885 delegates, 5 each from 177 wards across the state, in line with the party's internal electoral guideline and Electoral Act 2020. His emergence followed the withdrawal of Mrs. Atinuke Olaremi Omoloyo and disqualification of Kayode Ojo and Abimbola Olajumoke, who failed to meet the party's requirements, which paved way for Oyebanji's affirmation as the APC consensus candidate. The African Democratic Congress, ADC, in Adamawa State has inaugurated a caretaker executive committee to steer the party's affairs until a new leadership is formally elected. Presiding over the inauguration, the Northeast Zonal Vice Chairman of the ADC, David Lawa Babache, said the stakeholders agreed to constitute the interim team to stabilize the party and prepare it for the 2027 general elections. Babache explained that the new structure was approved by the National Working Committee after due consultation and compliance with the party's constitution. At least 5 teenage girls have lost their lives following a boat mishap in Nafada Town, Gombe State. Media-aided Governor Inuwa Yahaya Ismaila Umba Misili has expressed deep sadness over the incident in a condolence message to bereaved families. He described the incident as painful and heart-wrenching, especially given the tender ages of the victims and the grief caused to their families. United Nations Children's Fund, UNICEF Child Protection Specialist Victor Atuchukwu has raised concerns that some internally displaced persons, IDP camp officials, were using their position to take advantage of vulnerable girls and women dislocated by conflict. Atachukwu disclosed this during a meeting convened by the JSP Health and Gender Development Initiative in collaboration with UNICEF to map out modalities for the prevention of sexual and gender-based violence as well as sexual exploitation and abuse in Makudi. He noted that gender-based violence targets individuals because of their gender, Sexual exploitation involves abusing positions of power or trust for sexual or financial gain. The Nigerian Meteorological Agency, NIMET, has forecast varying weather conditions across the country from Monday to Wednesday, with slight dust haze expected in northern states and moderate rainfall across parts of the central and southern regions. The agency warned of possible flash floods in some states and advised the public to remain alert in its 3-day weather outlook released. The agency stated that slight dust haze with good visibility is expected over Borno, Zamfara, northern Kaduna, Yobe, Jigawa, Kano, and Katsina states on Monday. You are watching the live broadcast of News Cycle. When News Cycle returns, 92-year-old Paul Biya wins controversial 8th term. Details coming shortly, plus business and sports stories on the other side of this break. Please stay with us. You're welcome back, and if you're just tuning in, this is News Cycle on Global Television. Thank you for staying with us. In Business Story now, promoting private sector growth in Africa. Major stakeholders in Africa's business and investment landscape converge at the Afribank African Trade Center for the official signing of new strategic partnerships aimed at deepening trade, youth development, and economic collaboration across the continent. Kike Lomo Okeri tells us more.
Across Africa, there is a growing movement to bridge the gap between business and government, a move seen as key to driving sustainable growth and improving regional competitiveness. The signing ceremony marks a new chapter in effort to strengthen Africa's private sector and promote inclusive growth through collaboration between public institutions and private enterprises. Officials says the agreement will serve as a framework for driving innovation, improving access to business opportunities, and connecting Africa's next generation of entrepreneurs with global markets.
Represent far more than signatures on papers. They symbolize shared commitment, building a safer, stronger, and more connected Africa and business environment. Through these alliances, we created new pathways for entrepreneurs to thrive, for women to lead with confidence, and for youth to find opportunities beyond boundary.
The partnership organizer says go beyond paperwork, symbolizing a shared commitment to building a stronger, safer, and more united Africa.
How important it is for us to collaborate as individuals, as countries, as the continent at large, to be able to attract not just investment and possibilities, but also attract the goodwill of other countries as well.
The high point of the event was the formal signing of the Memorandum of Understanding between participating institutions, a symbolic and strategic step towards unlocking new opportunities for trade, enterprises, and innovations across Africa. It is a commitment that reinforces one message, that Africa progress will be built not in isolation, but through partnership, collaboration, and shared vision. Kike Lomo Okere, Global Television News.
The Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, Abubakar Kyari, says the federal government has implemented humanitarian interventions and emergency responses to caution the effect of food crisis in the country. The minister stated this on Monday in Akure at the distribution of farm inputs to farmers to boost agricultural production and ensure food security. He said that the government had put in place various programs to address underlying challenges hindering the national food security objectives. The Federal Inland Revenue Service, FIRS, has achieved a record-breaking tax collection of 47.39 trillion naira between October 2023 and September 2025. This period is under the current leadership of the Revenue Service Chairman, George Adedeji. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu had approved the appointment of the tax chairman of September 14, 2023. Over now to the foreign index now. Cameroon's long-term leader, Paul Biya, has secured another term in office after the country's Constitutional Council declared him winner of the October 12 presidential election. The 92-year-old has ruled Cameroon for over 4 decades, making him one of the world's longest-serving heads of state. Our correspondent Mukhtar Kasim reports.
According to the Constitutional Council, President Biya won 53.7% of the vote, while his main challenger, Issa Chiroma Bakare, came second with 35.2%.
In accordance with the provisions of the Constitution and following the completion of the national vote count, the Constitutional Council hereby declares that the candidate, Paul Biya, has obtained the majority of the votes cast. Therefore, and by virtue of the powers conferred upon this council, Paul Biya is hereby proclaimed as the elected president of the Republic of Cameroon with a mandate to serve for the next 7 years.
Chiroma had earlier declared himself winner and called for nationwide demonstrations, leading to deadly clashes in Douala, where 4 people were killed as security forces dispersed protesters. Observers say the election reaffirms Biya's tight grip on power in a system critics describe as increasingly authoritarian. Paul Biya, Cameroon's only leader since the independence from France in 1960, begins his 8th 7-year term, extending a rule marked by political repression, economic inequality, and separatist tensions. Mukhtar Kasim, reporting for Global Television News.
The United Nations Palestinian Refugee Agency says Israel is continuing to deny entry to its global staff and aid supplies into Gaza, in defiance of the ICJ ruling. Hamas expands its search for the 13 remaining bodies of Israeli captives in Gaza and is working with the Red Cross and Egyptian team to search behind the Israeli military line. Palestinians returning to their homes in Gaza are facing danger from unexploded ordinances, with at least 53 people killed and hundreds injured by the explosive left behind by the Israeli military. Meanwhile, the Gaza Tribunal has issued its final findings, saying that Israel is committing genocide in Gaza and that Israeli perpetrators and their Western enablers should not be allowed to escape justice for their crimes. The unofficial tribunal, which was established in London last November, gave its moral judgment following 4 days of public hearings in Istanbul, Turkey. Presided over by Richard Falk, a former United Nations Special Rapporteur on Human Rights on Palestinian territories, the initiative comes in a tradition of the Russian tribunal, which heard evidence in 1967 of United States war crimes in Vietnam. In sports stories now, sporting leadership in Nigeria is taking a fresh turn as newly elected presidents take charge across several national sport federations, from handball to shooting to aquatics to taekwondo, rugby to hockey to tennis. The excitement in Abuja have been palpable. Our correspondent Anete Patrick reports on a day of victories, surprises and renewed hope for sports development.
At the indoor sports hall of the Moshood Abiola National Stadium, Abuja, elections into various sports federations have produced a new set of leaders. Customs Controller General Adewale Adeniyi now heads the Wrestling Federation, while Olympic champion Daniel Igali remains on board. Rugby President Dr. Ademola Are keeps his seat, and Senator Obinna Ogba takes over traditional sports leadership in a surprise upset.
I am going to be working with the right set of people. So I am not going to be starting on ground zero, and I still have him in the board. We have a couple of other people who are similarly very, very experienced, and they are going to bring their weight of experience into the game.
Coming around once again can be very challenging, and it shows that I am going to be more responsible in discharging the duties, and definitely not to disappoint the confidence reposed in me for the second time.
Meanwhile, Commodore Mohammed Shetima takes charge of the Shooting Federation after defeating the incumbent. The story was different in handball, as the chairman, Kogi State Handball Association, Jibril Seidu, emerged as president-elect of the Handball Federation of Nigeria.
The Shooting Federation appears to be a broken home. So my first priority will be to mend fences, to bring everybody together, so that we can move the shooting federation for our collective successes.
All we owe the handball family is to ensure that dividends of good handball delivery is what we owe them, and we ensure to do that.
For aquatic sports, a new wave has already begun to rise as Donko Chamberlain, a grassroots sports advocate, now pilots the affairs of Nigerian Aquatics Federation. He promises to create more opportunities for young swimmers and boost Nigeria's presence in international competitions. In taekwondo, all chairs, no contest, renowned sports administrator and pioneering practitioner Tayo Kubrat Popola emerged as president unopposed. Stakeholders believe her leadership will restore stability after turbulent years in the sport. Fresh faces are stepping up, as well as former Delta Speaker Victor Ochei won all available votes to become Tennis Federation President, while Simon Nkom retained his seat as Hockey Federation President, riding on what supporters describe as an impressive first time. From victories to lessons learned, the inauguration of Federation President signals a fresh playbook for Nigerian sports. The coming years will reveal whether these new captains can deliver medals, sponsorship, and lasting development. Anie T. Patrick, reporting for Global TV News.
It was a day of celebration in Abuja as the FCT Golf chapter joined millions across the country to commemorate Nigeria's 65th independence anniversary with a special golf tournament and cultural reception. The Sports Rights Association of Nigeria, SWAN, led by its national president, Isaiah Benjamin, has held a Thanksgiving service at the City of Refuge International Church, Abuja, in commemoration of SWAN at 60 Diamond Celebration. That news will be brought in our subsequent bulletin. Now that's it on News Cycle. A quick reminder that Global TV is on DSTV channel 365 and Star Times channel 276. Kindly follow us across all social media platforms now showing on your screen by using @Global TV NG. I am Jumai Manson. Thank you for watching. Good evening.